participants and do not necessarily reflect those of station staff, management, and advertisers.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. What's up, everybody out there? PTL Nation, of course, at PTL Radio Show. I changed my Twitter handle name today. That's right. It was at PTL Radio Show. If I'm not mistaken, maybe people can go on there and look. Hopefully, I did it the right way today. But it is now officially Brian Shapiro. Yes, that's up there. Now, there were a bunch of Brian Shapiros already on Twitter. So I had to improvise a little bit, but everybody keeps telling me, Brian, you need to change your Twitter handle. You know, people try to look up Brian Shapiro and, they find Ben Shapiro. I am the Brian Shapiro now. That's right. The one and only Brian Shapiro, the Brian Shapiro on Twitter, because I guess a lot of people look me up on there and they're like, what's PTL when they're unfamiliar. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about today. We're on the YouTube, of course, the super chat, pushingthelimits.live. Joe Walsh is going to be joining us here in just a few minutes, the former presidential candidate who is very opinionated on this Epstein stuff, which we are going to be discussing. Leonard Cardinal is going to be joining me in studio and co-hosting with me here in just a few minutes. But let me give you guys the big news that came out today, at least by my understanding, it's the biggest news. Jeffrey Epstein, of course, the convicted sex offender. Now we're learning that Donald Trump was mentioned in emails multiple times in private correspondence over the last 15 years with an associate and author in Trump's orbit. These are newly released emails from the Democrats on the House Oversight Committee. Longtime associate emails with Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, who, of course, Maxwell was convicted of sex trafficking after Epstein's death. And another email with author Michael Wolff, who included conversations in which Epstein's asserts Trump spent significant time with a woman whom oversight Democrats described as a victim of Epstein's sex trafficking. The email also includes a message in which Epstein asserts Trump knew about the girls, and in reference to Trump's claim that he kicked Epstein out of his Mar-a-Lago club, there's also verbiage in these emails where Jeffrey Epstein says that Donald Trump spends time at his home in Florida with an alleged victim for hours. Now, MAGA Republicans are obviously trying to make excuses. MAGA Republicans are trying to make every excuse in the book. Why didn't the Democrats release this 5 years ago? This is a nothing burger. We've been hearing about this for 8 years. And we are going to play you audio throughout this show because Caroline Leavitt was asked about this in her press conference just about an hour ago. And the spinning is unreal. The spinning is just absolutely absurd from the MAGA right in protecting Donald Trump. So I figured what better person to start off the show today to talk about this than my former presidential candidate, Joe Walsh, joining us right now on the program. Joe, it's good to see you, my friend. How are you?
Brian, it's always good to be with you, brother.
Yes, I appreciate your time, Joe. Thank you so much. Obviously, you're just as upset and disappointed with the Republicans as I am these days. What was your first reaction when you heard and saw these emails that have been released? What was the first thing that came to your mind?
Duh. Brian, I just said that to myself out loud, and then I sort of shouted, duh, and I have my two dogs sitting right by me, and they were startled. None of this is surprising, right? Everything that came out today, anybody who's honest and objective knew. Jeffrey Epstein's one of the world's greatest pedophiles. Donald Trump was best friends with him. Trump clearly knew what Epstein was up to. And I've said from the beginning, Brian, it's gotten me in trouble. The most likely explanation here is Trump's a pedophile. Trump has sexually abused and victimized young girls. Duh.
Yeah, and what do you make of the fact now that Trump is having private meetings with Lauren Boebert and Nancy Mace. Obviously, we know why. He's pleading with them to take their signatures off of trying to release these files. What do you make of these closed-door meetings where the White House is being very mum about this?
I think, Brian, Trump is scared. And that's kind of a weird thing because Trump has no shame. And Trump's gotten away with murder his whole life. He's never been held accountable. But I think, and I've always thought this Epstein thing scares him because I think there's something really ugly in there. And he knows it. And by the way, Pam Bondi knows it. And by the way, many congressional Republicans know this. I expect, Brian, maybe you disagree with me. I expect Trump to be able to strong arm at least one Republican to not go along, to change their mind.
Joe, I completely agree with you. You worked with a lot of these people as a former congressman out of Chicago. You know a lot of these people personally. My question to you is, how do they wake up in the morning and look in the mirror, knowing that Donald Trump is most likely a pedophile, most likely had sexual contact with underage women? Joe, you know a lot of these people. How do they wake up in the morning and look at the mirror?
They look at their congressional pin and they remember they're a member of Congress, and that makes them feel really important. Or they go on their nationally syndicated show on Fox News and they remember that they've got a big audience. Brian, from the beginning, when I turned against Trump 7.5 years ago, all of them would tell me privately, Joe, Trump's a bad guy, but it's a temporary storm and he's going to blow away and we'll get back to the good old days. They've been saying that for 7.5 years. Look, they stood by a guy, a traitor, who tried to overthrow an American election. They stood by him after that. They don't give a damn if he's a pedophile.
What's amazing to me, Joe, is that they call this the golden age, right? And, meanwhile, while he's murdering people on boats, 600, you heard about what he said about 600,000 people from China come in here because we don't have enough qualified people in the United States. I know a lot of MAGA are probably not very happy about that. Not to mention this huge Epstein cover up, bailing out other economies. The war in the Ukraine is still going strong. There's no peace in the Middle East. I don't know, Joe, is this the golden age?
Brian, that's way to lay that out, my friend. That was really good. Damn you. I'm going to steal that from you. That was very good. The one thing I've told, Brian, I've told every Trump supporter for 7.5 years, every single day, the one thing I've told all of them is Trump doesn't give a flying you-know-what about you. Trump doesn't care about you. He never has. And I tell Trump supporters, it's got nothing to do with you. It's got everything to do with him. Donald Trump is humanly capable of caring only about himself. And it pains me, Bri, but I tell every Trump supporter, I hope you realize that one day. And you just rattled off a litany of middle fingers that Trump's given his supporters. I just hope that it wakes some of them up over these next months.
Are you trying to tell me that a 50-year mortgage is not a good idea?
He's just... Again, on top of everything, Brian, he's an idiot. On top of everything, he's an idiot. Look, we elected the very worst of us. And so now we're going to find out, right? Duh, he's probably most likely a pedophile. Add that to the list of pathological liar, psychopath, traitor to this country. I could go on and on.
Yeah. I love your appearances really anywhere, whether it's MSNBC or CNN, but I had to ask you, it seems like you and Scott Jennings have a little bit of a rift. I don't know. Scott doesn't seem to like you as a former Republican telling the truth on CNN. Have you spoken to him off camera? Because he doesn't seem like he likes you very much, Joe.
Hey, Brian, can I say prick on the radio? I've been away from the radio for years.
You can.
Scott Jennings is a prick. He's a baby. The only times we've spoken to each other off air, he gets all huffy and snooty and walks away. Look, Jennings and I got to write a book, right? Scott Jennings and me, we each had a decision to make. We both know Trump's a piece of crap. But to be a big deal, you decide to either love him or walk away from him. I decided to walk away from him, and I lost everything. Brian, Scott Jennings was an establishment hack when Trump first came on the scene. Scott Jennings despised Trump. He was a hack. I was the crazy Tea Party guy. But Scott Jennings realized, oh my God, people will love me. Oh my God, I'll make money if I love Trump. And he's utterly sold out. He's a prick. He's a baby.
So I agree with everything you just said. And I understand you have some great relationships with people at CNN. But I guess my question is, in general terms, why is it that these networks hire these people that have zero credibility? Is it just a ratings thing with Scott Jennings? I think you can find some good Republicans, certainly, Joe, that you know, and they have some on CNN. But why pay a guy like that who is just so disingenuous and, as you say, is a complete prick? Why hire somebody like that and pay them a lot of money? That's the part that I don't understand.
Ratings. So Jennings does what he does very well. Look, I love Abby. I love Abby Phillip. I've been on that show a number of times, but I don't like what they do. And it's become a platform for him. He just sits there. He's got his own camera that he can smirk at. And it's all just like throwing out his talking points. But Abby's show is doing great because Jennings has a lot of hate viewers. People who tune in just to hate what he says. And that's driving up the ratings of that show. That's all it is. It's financial.
I tend to agree with you. That's the way the media seems to work these days. Joe, before I let you go, who you got coming up? Talk to me a little bit about your podcast, which I love very much.
Oh my God, Brian, I'm so excited. Susan Rice. Remember Susan Rice?
Of course I do. Yeah.
I adore her. She's going to be on my podcast this week. We're going to talk about the rise of authoritarianism here and around the world. Susan Rice has some strong opinions on the Democratic Party. Brian, who'd have thunk it? Susan Rice and I are best pals. What a world this is. But yeah, this week, that'll be fun.
Who would have thought that I would have been the top trending story on Twitter on Saturday night when I was assaulted by a Trump supporter at a live Tim Pool event? So I guess you never know, right? You never know.
Brian, you are a better man than I am, and you're a braver man to do what you did the other night. Hello.
Well, I don't know if that's true, Joe, but that's very kind of you to say, my friend. I think you're a brave man, and I appreciate what you do. Please keep up the great work. Always love having you on, Joe, and in regards to you and your family and your dogs. And we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thanks, brother.
All right, take care. Joe Walsh, everybody. I love Joe. He's the best. I told you guys I would vote for him for anything. Assemblyman, mayor, governor, president. I love Joe. I love his honesty. He owns his mistakes. And appreciate Joe very, very much. All right, so here's what we are going to do, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a quick break. Boy, do I have some titillating clips to be playing for you when we come back. Caroline Leavitt and MAGA Republicans don't know what to do with these new revelations and these new emails that came out in regards to Epstein. What better person than Leonard Cardinale going to be joining me next when we come back? And we have a plethora of audio in the last hour that we clipped up, and we're going to play for you when we come back. Be back in 90 seconds. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
Hey, everybody. Are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? No more. Stallone's Italian Eatery
right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits. Thank you so much for being here. By the way, on social media, at least on Twitter, and also known as X, you might see my handle name has changed. I am now officially the Brian Shapiro instead of at PTL Radio Show. We're keeping everything else intact for now. But a lot of people are saying that they were trying to find me on social media and they didn't know what PTL was. And so we're going to give that a try and see how that works out. A lot to get to here today. And I figured what better person to talk about someone who is formerly in law enforcement, talking about the new Epstein revelations that are not looking good for Donald Trump. My good friend and longtime police officer Leonard Cardinal joining us in studio right now. Leonard, it is good to see you on a Wednesday, my friend. How are you?
Wow, there is so much going on. There's so
We're
much to
censoring
talk
you.
about.
We took your mic off for the first two. So we're censoring you. It's George Soros.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. I can.
Just kidding.
Good to
I'm
see
just
you, my
messing.
friend.
A lot going on. Like I said, Epstein, Trump. I don't know. You think a few years from now, maybe some indictments coming down? What do you think?
I don't know. But here's what we do know. There's a lot of MAGA Republicans out there that are not very happy. We'll get to more reasons other than Epstein. And by the way, there's some MAGA Republicans out there that don't care. They cried about the Epstein files and released the files, and they campaigned on it. And now all of a sudden they don't want to talk about it. Well,
Yeah, now it's a nothing sandwich now.
yeah. Well, as I mentioned, these emails have been released. And for years we've heard them complaining and talking about the Epstein files. And now all of a sudden, Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein sending emails calling him the dog that hasn't barked yet, claiming that he was at Epstein's home where they're spending time with a victim, an alleged victim, for hours. His name mentioned over and over again in these emails, and Democrats released this stuff while Republicans released 20,000 documents that have nothing to do with Donald Trump. What a shocker. But I want you to listen to how Caroline Leavitt, the liar, was able to try and I don't think she succeeded, in calling this a hoax. All this
She
information.
seemed nervous today. Did she look nervous?
She seemed a little
She looked
off.
a little
and she's-
squeamish,
well,
yeah,
she
yeah.
seemed a little off and nervous because these new revelations just came out. And
Yeah.
I think it's very hard to spin it. And she tried to. Keep in mind, this is Caroline Leavitt saying that this is a hoax, using the same language that Donald Trump uses about the Epstein files. Have a listen to this.
Requests. So this administration has done more than any, and it just shows how this is truly a manufactured hoax by the Democrat Party. For now, they're talking about it all of a sudden because President Trump is in the Oval Office. But when Joe Biden was sitting in there, the Democrats never brought this up. This wasn't an issue that they cared about because they actually don't care about the victims in these cases. They care about trying to score political points against President Trump, as we have, of course, seen with this government shutdown.
Yeah, there you go. Leonard, it's a Democrat hoax.
Okay, but when it wasn't a Democrat hoax, when Dan Bongino was talking about it,
Right.
and Kash Patel, and they were licking their chops saying, oh, all these Democrats are part of a worldwide net of people that exchange children and young girls, and they thought they were going to get Bill Clinton and some of the Democrats and some of the big names, and they were salivating. They couldn't wait for it to come out. All of a sudden, Trump gets elected, and it's like nothing to see here, and
exactly.
43,000 pages of emails, and there really wasn't much in there. But they haven't released everything, and that may happen today.
I hope so, but in these emails we learned that Jeffrey Epstein says that Trump was not only in his house but spent hours with one of the alleged victims. Caroline Leavitt is asked that question.
Yeah.
Hey, did this really happen? Listen to, again, a mega moron in Caroline Leavitt dodge the question. Listen to this.
Caroline.
Sure.
I have your statement about the new Epstein emails that have been released by House Democrats. Separate from why you believe the emails were made public, can you address their substance? Did the president ever spend hours at Jeffrey Epstein's house with a victim?
These emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong. And what President Trump has always said is that he was from Palm Beach, and so was Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was a member at Mar-a-Lago until President Trump kicked him out because Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile and he was a creep.
Wait, attention lying bimbo. That wasn't the question. I know you believe Donald Trump didn't do anything wrong. The question wasn't, do you believe the president did anything wrong? That wasn't the question. The question was specifically in regards to these emails, which was, and Jiang is a great reporter, by the way. I think she's wonderful. She said, did the president ever spend hours at Epstein's house with a victim?
So just yes then.
Did she
didn't answer.
Did she respond? Did she answer the question?
And remember, in 2001, 2002, Trump was quoted as saying that Jeffrey Epstein was a very good friend. Did he not say that?
Of course he did. I'm sorry, Leonard, did she answer the question?
Do I have to answer that? Because it's really important that I answer the question with full substance, and
Okay.
Trump did nothing
So
wrong.
obviously the
so
answer,
you're not going to answer?
anytime they don't answer a question, it would make Donald Trump look bad. So obviously the answer is yes. And she knows she can't
It's
deny
in
it.
the email. All
Right.
she had to do was say, look, it's in the email, but we don't have the context. We can't prove anything. But yes, they did say that in the email,
And
that
listen-
he spent hours with, they think,
at least-
Virginia Giuffre.
At least I would have had a minimal amount of respect for her if she answered the question in that way. But she didn't, and then she says it's a hoax again. So we've learned, not because the White House has released this information, even though they claim they did, it was leaked by another media agency, that Donald Trump and White House officials are privately behind closed doors meeting with Lauren
I
Boebert
bet they are.
and Nancy Mace. Now, these are two women that I despise. I think they're despicable human beings. However, so far on this Epstein stuff, I've been on their side. Why? Like Marjorie Taylor Greene and others. They want the Epstein files to be released, and they've signed off on it. What does Donald Trump need to do? He needs to convince some of these Republicans not to sign off and vote for releasing the files. So we all know why they've had
Well, they're
private-
making offers. I can only imagine what they're offering to give them. I can't, my mind can't even go there, what they're going to be willing to do to change those
Besides
votes.
that, how many times does Donald Trump have closed-door private meetings with Lauren Boebert and Nancy Mace? Like, never. But it just so happens that they had those meetings today, the day that Democrats released these files. I find that to be a little bit of a coincidence, but apparently Caroline Levitt doesn't think so. Have a listen.
Government reopening because of Republicans and President Trump.
But given your
Reagan.
interest in transparency, Caroline, why are White House officials then meeting with Representative Boebert in an effort to try and get her to not sign this petition calling for the release of the files?
Doesn't it show transparency that members of the Trump administration are willing to brief members of Congress whenever they please? Doesn't that show our level of transparency? Doesn't that show the level of transparency when we are willing to sit down with members of Congress and address their concerns? That is that's a defining factor of transparency. Having discussions with members of Congress about various issues, and I'm not going to detail conversations that took place in the Situation Room in the press briefing room.
Wow.
Having discussions about, quote, various issues. What are those issues? What did you call Lauren Boebert to talk about Beetlejuice? Did you talk to her about food stamps and health care?
Well, the Democrats were on this morning on the news saying, yeah, they have those meetings. Yeah, they're transparent, but the Dems never get it. The Oversight Committee never gets the content of those conversations.
Right.
So they're being transparent in a room behind closed door with their own people.
What were those
Let's
various
get it
issues?
right.
I'm just going to go out on a limb here, Leonard, and you can tell me whether you disagree with me or not. I'm going to go out on a limb and make an assumption. On the morning where very damning emails from Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell are released by Democrats, having private conversations with the president and Lauren Boebert and Nancy Mace, two of the Republicans, two of the few, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, two of the few, they've given up on Marjorie, by the way, two of the few Republicans that have voted that they want to release the Epstein files, all of a sudden Donald Trump has private meetings with them. And Caroline, the liar Levitt, says they were talking about
And
various
it's not transparent,
issues.
Brian.
Various issues? Really? Various issues?
Transparent? No. There's no one knows the contents of those meetings. How can you call
Well,
that?
I can tell you what it is. I can tell you what those contents of those meetings are right now. Donald Trump is trying to strong-arm Beetlejuice and Nancy the disgrace. He is literally trying to strong-arm them and probably threatening them that if they vote to release the
would be my
files,
guess.
their political careers are going to be over. That is exactly what is going on. So when Caroline Levitt says they're talking about various issues, no, they're not. They're only talking about one issue, releasing the Epstein files, and they're threatening these two women. And I guarantee you these two despicable people will cave. And all it would take for somebody with a backbone, which they don't have, to hold a press conference and say, Donald Trump just threatened me. Now, it would be political suicide, but at least you would have some sort of dignity if you said, Donald Trump threatened me because I want to release the Epstein files because I want the victims to get justice. That is exactly what is going on behind closed doors. Now, the questions, and I give the press credit today because they did press Caroline Levitt on this. And another member of the media asked about Prince Andrew, testifying in front of Congress about Epstein. Now, obviously, MAGA Republicans don't want that to happen, but listen to the way she responds to this question.
Some Democratic members of Congress have invited Britain's former Prince Andrew to testify on the Epstein scandal. I was just wondering if President Trump thinks that former Prince Andrew should indeed come and testify to Congress on that.
I haven't spoken to him about that specific matter, but I can ask him and get back to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you will. That's a Mike Johnson answer. I don't know anything about that, so I can't comment on it.
Yeah, Prince Andrew's going to answer the phone for her.
Yeah.
And have that conversation.
You dumb bimbo, you lying dumb bimbo, you. That's what you are, Caroline. You're a lying dumb bimbo and a fake Christian.
Prince Andrew's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll make a deal.
Here's what I want. I want him under oath, and I want Jack Smith under oath.
In the movie theater.
Yeah.
With Boebert. No, we can't. It's not even funny.
At Beetlejuice. So then the question comes up to Ghislaine Maxwell, who, by the way, we've also learned this week through Democrats that she is allowed to have a dog.
God, I want to live like that.
She gets like basically room service. She's allowed to play tennis and be outside as long as she would like. She gets preferential treatment with guests that are able to come in.
She gets to go escorted to the gym at night by herself when no one else is around.
Yeah.
Guests can bring in computers, which is unheard of.
Completely.
In a prison facility.
So now that we've learned all those revelations in the last week, oh, wait a second. Are you going to be pardoning Maxwell? Notice in her answer, when I'm talking about Levette, she never says no. Listen to the question and listen to the way Caroline, the lying bimbo Levette, answers.
Stephen, go ahead.
Well, if the president is considering a pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell.
Again, he's answered this repeatedly. It's not something he's talking about or even thinking about at this moment in time. I can assure you of that. Steve.
Don't you think that if Joe Biden or Barack Obama, and I keep saying this over and over again, were asked about the possible pardon of one of the biggest sex traffickers in the history of this country, and anybody within the administration didn't flat out say no, don't you think Republicans would have a huge problem with that?
How about no? How about the answer is no? She's a child sex trafficker, so we're not considering that.
They won't do that.
What about that answer?
You know why? Because I can almost guarantee you that by the end of
I think it's already done.
It might be, but by the end of Donald Trump's administration, I could almost guarantee you that one of the biggest sex traffickers on the planet, who is being treated like a VIP celebrity at Club Med, will be pardoned by Donald Trump. And I don't know. There are some MAGA people out there that are still making excuses. Why didn't the Democrats do this 4 years ago? This is here nor there. It's clickbait. I think the Republican Party put out a generic statement saying this is clickbait. That's what it is. It's clickbait. What do you mean it's clickbait? The reason why Democrats release this is to show...
Clickbait is semi-accurate, shocking news that catches a title. This is not clickbait.
No, this isn't clickbait.
This is what's really happening every day. This is actually happening.
They are protecting the pedophile in chief in Donald Trump, and they are also protecting one of the biggest sex traffickers in the world, the Trump administration is, in Maxwell. This is not clickbait. This is who you voted for, you MAGA clowns you. This is what you voted for. Oh, but wait. It gets worse. And I will
Can it get worse?
It gets worse. There are actually people in MAGA world all over the country right now that are very upset today. They're not really upset about the Epstein stuff because they already know he's a pedophile. But as you know, Donald Trump has said time and time again, America first. Yeah. So many of these MAGA racists out there are very upset that Trump says the H-1B immigrants are necessary because there aren't enough talented Americans to fill jobs. Well, a lot of these America First idiots that voted for Donald Trump are not very happy with that. Have a listen to this.
There's never going to be a country like what we have right now.
And does that
the
mean,
Republicans have to talk about it, Laura.
And does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, I'm going to put you into a factory where we're going to make missiles, or I'm going to put
How did we ever do it before?
Well,
I'll
give you an example. In Georgia, they raided because they wanted illegal immigrants out. They had people from South Korea that made batteries all their lives. You know, making batteries are very complicated. It's not an easy thing. It's very dangerous. A lot of explosions, a lot of problems. They had like 500 or 600 people, early stages, to make batteries and to teach people how to do it. Well, they wanted them to get out of the country. You're going to need that, Laura. I mean, I know you and I disagree on this. You can't just say a country's coming in, going to invest $10 billion to build a plant, and going to take people off an unemployment line who haven't worked in 5 years, and they're going to start making missiles. It doesn't work that way.
I've heard these MAGA buffoons like Laura Ingraham, the racist evil witch that she is, and many of these MAGA supporters, Leonard, that have been saying for years what they believe in, which is America first, and we don't want basically large amounts of people from other countries taking American jobs. Donald Trump has just said it in front of Laura Ingraham on Fox News, of all places, that we don't have enough talented people in the United States.
I just looked it up online, and we have 19.4 million students in college right now in America. And you're telling me out of 19.4 million educated people, and we're talking about bachelor's degrees, master's degree, doctorate, specialized medicine, specialized electronics, that we can't find enough people to fill those jobs. We have to go. And by the way, let me just mention the South Korea deportation was a total cluster F, because they deported them, and then they realized they had to bring them back, because they're like, hey, we're sorry for deporting you, but can you come back and teach our people how to do it, because we don't have anybody left.
You can tell me if you disagree.
How stupid was that?
Oh, completely stupid. You could tell me whether you disagree with this or not, but if you're one of those people that has been chanting America first at his rallies, you're in Congress.
There's no America first.
If you've been chanting America first, and we know what your true beliefs are apparently, and you're not calling out these statements that Donald Trump made, then you are in a cult. That's why we call it a cult. This goes against your beliefs. It goes against pretty much every single person who defends Donald Trump and supported him and voted for him a couple times, several times. You want America first, so you claim. Now listen, I personally don't have any problem with bringing in immigrants in here to work jobs if they're hardworking. I don't have a problem with that, but you guys do. If you don't have a problem, and you're not going after Donald Trump for the statements that he made that we don't have enough talented people here and we need other people from other countries to fill jobs, then you are a cult and you support the 34-count felon adjudicated sexual abuser. You're a moron and you're in a cult.
And you're
I want
living
to
in
be
a
very
different
clear
reality.
on that. And as I said earlier, is this the golden age? Is this what you guys voted for? Let's go through it. Let's dissect it, if I may. Did you vote for an Epstein cover-up if you voted for Donald Trump? Did you vote? Yeah.
I'll answer. Go ahead.
Maybe. Did you vote for 600,000 Chinese students coming into this country? Did you vote for that? Did you vote for the H-1B jobs for Indians? Did you vote for that? Did you vote for massive deficits? Ron Filipowski put out this list. It's so great.
They did. MAGAs did.
Did you vote for pardons for fraudsters and drug traffickers?
They did.
They did, yeah. Did you vote for blowing up boats and murdering people without any due process at all? Did you vote for 50-year mortgages?
Oh, my God. That is a cluster.
Did you vote for tariffs on everything?
They did.
I guess so. Did you vote for higher prices everywhere?
It'll be okay. We'll get our farm back someday.
I don't know. Did they vote for that? Did you vote for a ballroom paid for by his rich donors and then making money eventually off of selling it and the Trump team making money off this? Is that what you voted for?
Did you give up your food stamps?
Yeah.
So that billionaires could get a better tax break and make more money while you stand in a bread line and for your whole life have never stood in a bread line before? Yes, they did vote for
I'm wondering, is this America first when you invite a former Al-Qaeda leader into the Oval Office and smelling colognes with him? Did you see that weird video? Is this
embarrassing?
Is this what you voted for? Is this America first?
It's totalitarianism is what it is. If you look at the definition, that's exactly what it's not America first. It's dictatorship first.
It's
and
incredible.
For some reason, they live. I have MAGA friends. I have MAGA family members, and I've talked to them, Brian, and I've given them facts and figures and common sense, and they go, well, you know, I don't really. He said the sky's not blue, and you know, I kind of believe him. That's what they say. That's their answer.
What a bunch of cultist losers. Speaking of losers, can we talk a little bit about Tiny Mike Johnson, please?
Oh, my God.
Tiny Johnson.
His hair's turning gray before our eyes.
So now they're saying, and Mike Johnson's excuse of these new revelations in these emails, which I think are extremely damning, Mike Johnson's now saying the Epstein files are just the shiny object in the room, and it's just a distraction.
Yeah.
He's trying to.
He wishes.
Just like Caroline the Vet, he's trying to make excuse after excuse after excuse. The last thing they want is this vote to go through. So here was Mike Johnson's response earlier today to these emails. Have a listen to this.
a leader. They don't have any identifiable set of policy solutions for the problems facing the American people. Their party continues to hit all-time historic lows in poll after poll after poll, and many of you have reported on that. These are objective facts. They're utterly lost as a party, and everybody can see it. So what are they doing? They see a shiny object, and they latch onto it. Democrats did not say one word about the Epstein files for the entire Biden presidency. They had all the files in the Biden DOJ. They didn't say a word about it. 4 years, not a word. And suddenly now, they somehow convince themselves that the Epstein files will be damaging to President Trump and Republicans in some way that they've imagined. And so they feign outrage.
So, hypothetically speaking, and I'm not saying this is true, because I know that the Maxwell trial was going on during the Biden administration.
That is correct.
And that was sealed.
That's when it was started,
Correct.
in 2018, 2019.
Correct. So you can make that argument, but let's just give Tiny Mike Porn Johnson, the fake Christian, the benefit of the doubt on this one. And listen, I'm not saying he's telling the truth, but for argument's sake, let's just say for the last 4 years, Biden was hiding something, and there were prominent Democrats that were in the Epstein files. It still doesn't change our opinion now. It doesn't change anybody's opinion. If there's Democrats in there, they should be held to account. But you see, Joe Biden wasn't on tape hanging out with, Maxwell and hanging out with Epstein. There are no emails circulating that Joe Biden or Hunter Biden or any of the Bidens were hanging out with Epstein and alleged victims at his house. No, that's all Donald Trump, okay? So your excuse of, why didn't they release it 4 years ago, has no bearing on the conversation right now. Wrong is wrong. If you think it was wrong, and I guess that's what Mike Johnson is saying, I don't even know what he's saying, because Biden, he claims, didn't release it. We shouldn't have to release it? What is the argument being put forth by these MAGA buffoons?
That's like saying you get caught coming out of a bank after you just robbed the bank and you have the money in your hand and they're arresting you, and you say, what about my cousin Johnny? He robbed a bank last week and he didn't get arrested.
Right.
And he was just as guilty as me and nobody arrested him. That makes no sense.
Makes absolutely no sense. And
that's a whataboutism.
Mikey Little Johnson, he probably wants...
He looks bad.
Yeah, well, they're aging.
He looks stressed out.
They're aging by the day. When you have to defend every day, when you have no soul and you have no moral compass and you have to defend a 34-count felon and adjudicated rapist, it probably gets to you a little bit, mentally, physically. Representative Stutzman is another moron. He was on CNN earlier today, another right-wing fool.
Yeah.
Another Trump mushroom gobbler. I think I can say that. And Stutzman claims that Donald Trump has been the most investigated person in the world. And listen to his excuses of why he doesn't think the Epstein files should be released. Listen to this.
Alita Grijalva of Arizona, the Democrat, is sworn in later today, 2 months after her election, by the way. She's expected to be the 218th signature needed to force a vote to release all of the Epstein files. Do you think those files should be released?
Well, again, I think James Comer, the Oversight Committee chair, as well as the others who are responsible for these files, have done a very good job handling them methodically and making sure that the victims are protected, that Epstein, of course, was a monster that we know of, and the fact that these files are being released and information is coming out is good for all of us. I mean, we want transparency in our government, and I trust that James Comer, Congressman Jim Jordan, they are the ones that are truly handling this very well in the House of Representatives. Democrats are doing, their job, of course, as the opposition and making sure that information is out there. But again, I think that, it's interesting that they release those files today on the day that the government shutdown is going to end, and that it's a positive for Republicans that we're going to continue funding the government as we planned on, and that the government's going to be open. SNAP benefits are going to start being released back to the American people that we're truly counting on them over the past month. And because the Democrats weren't able to get those SNAP benefits, and of course a lot of other just problems that we didn't need to have and force on the American people, but that's what the Democrats chose.
So according to another Trump mushroom gobbler, Representative Stutzman, who says that this is just a distraction. The Democrats are doing this because it's just a distraction. Let's forget about all the victims of Jeffrey Epstein, that animal, and Maxwell. Let's forget about the fact that the Trump administration had put her in a Club Med facility and probably going to pardon her. Let's forget about the fact that Trump is calling everybody stupid if they even talk about Jeffrey Epstein. Let's forget about the fact that there was a private meeting today with Donald Trump and some members of his administration with two women who want the Epstein files to go public. That would be Nancy Mace, the disgrace, and Lauren Beetlejuice Boebert. Let's forget about that. Let's forget about all this Epstein cover-up, which is exactly what it is. It's a major cover-up. Let's forget about the fact that Kash Patel wouldn't even answer direct questions under oath if he ever told Pam Bondi that Trump was in the Epstein files, which clearly he did. It's only a distraction.
Let's forget Pam Bondi said it's on my desk.
Yeah.
They said, what about the list? And she said, oh, the list, it's on my desk. I'm getting ready to read it.
But it's
a week
distraction.
later, I don't believe there's a list. How obvious is that? How big of a lie is that?
It's all a distraction.
It is
Leonard.
funny. It's ridiculous.
It's a distraction.
And he mentioned Democrat. The Democrats this and the Democrats that. He never once mentioned the Supreme Court when he's talking about SNAP benefits and people being fed. He never mentioned the Supreme Court holding it up.
It's all a distraction.
He said Dems.
That's what they're saying. It's just a shiny object. It's a distraction. They're calling the Epstein files a distraction where there are so many innocent children that were sodomized, where there were so many innocent children that were sex trafficked, probably from Mar-a-Lago. And yet they have the gall to say this is just a distraction. Democrats have been very clear. They want the Epstein files released.
If no one's hiding. They're not hiding.
If there are Democrats in there, they say, so be it. Have you ever heard a Republican talk like that? Have you ever heard a MAGA Republican or a Republican in general say, release the files? We don't care if they're Republicans or Democrats. Very few, if any. Literally, every single Democrat.
I'm a Democrat. I consider myself a common sense Democrat, and I say release the files. And if some prominent Democrats have to fall or go to prison or get indicted, then so be it. They shouldn't have been with underage girls, or as they're calling them on TV, kids, children.
Mm-hmm.
It's illegal in every state. Now the ages vary, but in this state, if you have sex with a girl under 16 years old in this state, it's a felony.
Should talk to Matt Gaetz about that. I know he doesn't live in Nevada, but there is one
Whatever
more.
happened to that event? No, I don't even want to get into that.
There is one more Caroline Levitt clip that I would like to play for you.
She had a tough morning, but go ahead.
She did. So if she's not on a date with the Crypt Keeper, what's her husband, like 103 years old? I don't know.
They must be in love.
Yeah. By the way, did you see the stories about when she releases pictures with her husband, she like does stuff to his face?
Yeah.
So to make it look like it's very Jesus of her to do that, by the way.
Yeah,
very Jesus.
Somebody asked me in the chat if she was wearing her cross necklace today, and I didn't notice, but I'm sure she was.
Her husband, imagine your husband being so old that you're embarrassed to put out pictures of him because he looks so old. He looks like the Crypt Keeper, that she has to like use AI.
Brian, she's so old. When you look in her eyes, there's no one there.
Yeah.
You could ask her the simplest question. What does Trump say? Is water wet? And she'll go, well, he says it's not, and you guys are being unfair. She could lie about anything. She doesn't care what it is.
Well, she lied about this. As you know, a few weeks ago, Donald Trump got an MRI. They didn't tell us why. Any single doctor with any bit of expertise that is not into partisan politics would tell you that when you get an MRI, it's never random and it's never for no reason. There's a reason why they give you an MRI. It's not part of a normal everyday
and it's
physical.
targeted.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a reason why. They might see a problem, doesn't mean you have a problem, but it's preventative where they think you need to get an MRI because they think you might have a problem. Any medical professional would tell you that. So, Caroline Levitt was asked today, and remember, these are the same idiots who talked about Joe Biden's health 24/7. What are the Democrats hiding? Well, he gets this MRI. A couple weeks later, we still don't know why. And then Caroline Levitt is asked about it today. Listen to the way she answers it.
One more. You recently said you checked with President Trump about why he needs to get an MRI on his recent trip to Walter Reed. Do you have any more detail on that?
I do, and I'm glad you asked. As stated in the memo provided on October 10th, President Trump received advanced imaging at Walter Reed Medical Center as part of his routine physical examination. The full results were reviewed by attending radiologists and consultants, and all agreed that President Trump remains in exceptional physical health, which I know all of you will see with your own eyes later this evening when he opens up his dinner to the press, and perhaps you will see him when he signs the bill to reopen the federal government. So stay tuned on plans for that. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Walk off the stage, you dumb bimbo, you lying bimbo disgrace of a human being. By the way, again, let me repeat myself. It is never considered by any medical professional on the planet, quote unquote, routine for a morbidly
that would mean you go every time you go to the doctor, you get one. That makes no sense.
For a morbidly obese orange orangutan turd to get an MRI, unless there is some sort of underlying condition and doctors feel like they need to check something. Okay? I don't know what the results are of that MRI, but Levette is lying. And if Joe Biden's people did the same thing, Republicans would be talking about it 24/7 for the next 3 years. But if Caroline Levette says, oh, this was just routine, which, by the way, as I repeat, an MRI check is never routine. There has to be underlying reasons why doctors want you to get an MRI. Any doctor would tell you that. She's lying once again. And, you know, Fox News won't cover this. Mark Levin won't cover this. Anybody on the far right won't cover this.
He's trying. You're pretty funny when you do Mark Levin.
He's such a fool.
Hey, let's take a phone call. Break.
Are you a liberal? Hi, I'm Mark Levin. I'm 4 feet tall and I look like 250 pounds of chewed bubblegum. I'm a constitutionalist. Are you a liberal? I'm going to tell you right now, if Benjamin Netanyahu bombed every country in the world, I would still support the Israeli government. And if you don't support what I'm saying right now, not only are you not a Jew, but you're not an American. Get out of my country.
Does he still have a show?
I think he does. He's not even top 200 now, from what I heard.
Yeah,
he's losing listeners by the day, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that listens.
All that mushroom gobbling, Trump mushroom gobbling by Mark Levin doesn't seem to be helping him very much within the MAGA base.
Oh, if he gets one caller, he just stays on that caller for as long as for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, because the phone lines are not packed. What does that tell you?
Hi, I'm Mark Levin, and my best friend is Ben Shapiro. You two fools.
He's on the line right now.
You two fools. I hope Ben Shapiro. Okay, I'm going to pray to Jesus again. I know this might offend some of my Christian listeners. I'll apologize to you in advance. Okay, I love all of you. But I'm going to pray to Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, right now, that Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin either get sent to Guantanamo or get sent to Gaza. I'm going to pray that they are deported.
Libya.
I will.
How about Libya over in Africa?
Libya would be okay. That'd be okay.
Trump is considering sending Garcia there.
Yeah.
Let him go to Libya.
Send Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin, and they can put a Torah in their jail cell, and they could recite it every single day, and they have unlimited amounts of yarmulkes. Ben Shapiro could wear any number of yarmulkes he wants. By the way, I don't know if I should say this out loud. I don't think they would mind.
Say it anyway.
I don't think they would mind if I did, but apparently, allegedly, the next Tim Pool event, they're trying to get Ben Shapiro to debate me.
Oh, that'd be great.
That's what I've heard. That's the rumor. Shapiro versus Shapiro, but I will not be wearing a yarmulke to pray, to.
Ben Shapiro sounds really good when he's talking. If you listen to him, he sounds like an intelligent person, but if you listen to the content of his words,
oh, it's horrible.
And you start to think about what he just said, you're like I know when I watch him, I'm thinking, well, he didn't say anything. He just said really nice word salad, intelligent words that don't mean anything. I don't understand the appeal. Maybe it's his looks. Maybe because he's kind of with Israel and he's Jewish and people like to listen to him. But I've listened to him and I think you'd absolutely destroy him.
I would love it. So we'll have to wait and see what happens.
I think he'd cry. He probably would cry.
Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro are despicable human beings. They're not only an embarrassment to the Jewish people, they're an embarrassment to the country and to the world. They're horrible people. They seem to defend Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli government at every end, just like they defend Donald Trump at every end. They're horrible human beings. And I would love the opportunity to debate Ben Shapiro. So we do talk about healthcare a lot on this show. It had everything to do with the government shutdown. And I am so glad to be a part of Chapter. They provide free and unbiased Medicare help. Open enrollment is going through December 7th. They average saving people about $1,100 a year. And if they think you're on the right plan, they'll tell you you're on the right plan. You see the number on the bottom of your screen right there. Please give them a call. They're sponsors of this show, and they do good work. I wouldn't be teamed up with them otherwise. It's completely free, and it'll take under 20 minutes. Give them a call. Number there on the bottom is 212-461-4078. Again, that number, 212-461-4078. There's also a URL right there on the bottom, which is askchapter.org/limits. All right, so here's what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to take a quick break, and then it's your turn to call in. We've got Leonard in studio, 702-221-7283. Again, that number, 702-221-7283. 7283. 702-221-SAVE. MAGA callers are always welcome. Phone lines are open. Give us a buzz. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back in 90 seconds. It's Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
Yep. Hey, everybody. Are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premier Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Who would have thought there'd be so many kids playing ice hockey in the desert? Jake Helps Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, founded by Gina Yousafzai 8 years ago, made it possible for families who can't afford the equipment and fees. Donate today at www.hockeyforkids.org and help us continue making a difference. Join us in supporting Jake Helps Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, where every kid gets a shot at the starting line. Just a reminder, our website is www.hockeyforkids.org.
You are way too smart, way too talented, way too good to be where you are. You are meant to be making way more money, feel way hotter in your body, and having way more fun. Hi, I'm Nicole Mitchell, and I'm a life coach. I help you get hotter and richer. If that is what you're looking for, you can find me at NicoleMitchell.com. My name, Nicole, is with a K, NicoleMitchell.com. You can reach out to me on my website or on Instagram, and I will be happy to be in touch and figure out what you're looking for and how I can support you in getting there.
Have you ever dreamed of having your own radio show or a podcast, but just didn't think it was possible? Well, dreams can come true. Radio U. Radio U is a 5-day course that'll teach you how to acquire your dream show. We'll teach you how to host, how to write commercial, how to interview, how to market, how to write a contract, and most importantly, how to monetize your dream radio show. You'll learn from some of the best in the business with over 75 years in broadcast experience. You'll learn from people like me. And the best part, every single student will be live on the radio as part of the class. Plus, one student from each class will get their very own radio show. You'll be live on the air right here in Las Vegas. Radio U. The 5-day course is being offered at $699. For more information, give Radio U a call. 702-763-5024. That's 702-763-5024. Or check them out at RadioYOU101.com.
All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, we'll get to our busy phone calls here in just a second. So I want to talk to you guys about your online life and privacy. And you know how sending a message an unprotected Wi-Fi is like yelling your secrets in a crowded room, right? Well, a VPN is like moving that conversation sort of like into a locked soundproof booth. That's what private internet access, or PIA, does. It encrypts your internet connection, hiding your IP address and protecting your personal information and everything you do from online hackers and others that are looking to exploit your private information. This important coverage obviously protects you from networks such as coffee shops, the airport, and even the Wi-Fi at your own house. So I've been using PIA myself. It's great. I love how simple it is. You just open the app, really, pick a location, say New York or even another country, and with one click, you're connected through a secure tunnel. Boom, total privacy. Also great for streaming, of course. Some shows or sports events are blocked based on where you live, but PIA lets you access content from 91 countries and all 50 U.S. states. That means you can watch what you want wherever you are. This includes your favorite streaming services such as Disney+, Netflix, even Hulu. And here's a big one. One subscription protects unlimited devices, your phone, your laptop, your tablet, your TV, even your whole household is covered. Plus, PIA has a strict no logs policy that's been proven in court and verified by Deloitte. So they don't track what you do, period. So PIA is rated excellent on Trustpilot and signed up as a totally risk-free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So how great is that? Protect yourself online. Grab 83% off plus 4 extra months free using my link, which is piavpn.com/PTL. Again, that's piavpn.com/PTL for the best online privacy deal out there. I've been using it daily, especially when traveling or working on public Wi-Fi. I've been traveling a lot lately, and it's one of the few tools I can honestly recommend to everyone. All right, I promised you guys that we would be getting to the phone calls. We got Leonard Cardinello in studio with me. What have we been discussing today? Well, we've been talking about a lot. Obviously, the revelations that I've been talking about when it comes to these emails, Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, obviously very damning to Donald Trump. Apparently, according to Jeffrey Epstein, he was at his house for a few hours hanging out with an alleged victim, calling him the dog that hasn't barked, at least not yet. We're talking about that. We're also getting to the YouTube Super Chat, which we will discuss. Leonard is really good at the YouTube Super Chat, so I feel like when Leonard is here, Leonard, if you don't mind.
We have one.
Yeah, go for it, Leonard.
The Weirdo, thank you for your donation, by the way. It says Leonard is wrong about Ben S. I'm assuming he means Ben Shapiro.
I hope so.
His show sounds like he's reading a book report some else wrote for the first time. Mark Heart Attack Levin isn't better. I think he missed a couple of verbs, but that's okay.
That's all right.
And no, I think Ben Shapiro sounds like a whiner. He's whiny. He does not like to be challenged. He does not like to be put on the spot.
But to his defense, I think a lot of what Ben Shapiro says on his show is completely scripted. Like, I used to be a huge Jim Rome fan. Do you remember Jim Rome?
I don't.
Sports commentator back in the day, until I learned that everything on his radio show is completely scripted. Eileen also, I don't know if you want to read Eileen's, but Eileen has one.
I
as
lost
well.
it. You're going to have to read it.
KK Caroline makes me want to vomit.
KK Caroline.
Here's a little for your ballroom. Thanks, Eileen. I appreciate it. Yeah, she makes me want to vomit as well. And her 80-year-old husband, the Crypt Keeper. But number to call, 702-221-7283. Again, that number, 702-221-SAVE is the number to call. And if you're a Trump supporter, you're also welcome to call in. Let's start off with Casey. Casey, first up on PTL. What's up, Casey?
Hey, Brian. Hey, listen, I'm really shocked about a couple of things, Brian, including you. And I'm not meaning this in a bad way. All these right-wingers trying to protect Trump about the reason why they had a falling out was over that Trump found out that he was a pedophilia. That's not why Trump and Epstein had a falling out. They were both from Palm Beach, and it was over real estate property. Trump and Epstein were looking at, they both wanted the same properties in Palm Beach, and Epstein scooped it up before Trump. That's why they had a falling out. And I already can even bet, and that's straight up, that's even, you can see the court records, what have you, with Epstein bought in Palm Beach, the property, right? Mm-hmm. On top of that, we know Trump does not pay his bills. I can guarantee you, he probably started a tab over in Epstein Island and other stuff, and then pay up on his tab over there too. I'm just guessing on that, but I believe with everything together, that's why they had a falling out.
Yeah. Well, that's partially true, but you have to remember Trump tried to distance himself after he said Jeffrey Epstein was a good guy, because shortly after that, 2004, 2005, that's when the investigations actually began. Now, they didn't gain momentum until 2007, 2008, but Trump's a smart enough guy. He's savvy enough to know that there was a lot of investigations coming and they were going to be questioned, and Jeffrey Epstein was probably going to be in trouble. And shortly after that, that's when they made the deal with Acosta. But what I'm trying to say is I think Trump, quote unquote, distanced himself because he saw the writing on the wall. He knew Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell were going to be in quite a bit of trouble.
But the bottom line is that they both had a falling out over property in Palm Beach. That was the main. I don't know what year it was. I don't have it at the top of my head right now, but that's the reason why they started bumping heads. They were bros for almost 20 plus years.
Don't you think that's just like billionaire, whose is bigger, whose house is bigger, whose hands are bigger, which, you know, I'm sure Epstein won that.
Trump is he's a vulture capitalist. He would make $20 off his own mother if he could. He does not care about nobody except himself. Even Ivanka, he doesn't care about any of this. He's so. This is how insane this is all about. But back to, and not, I'm going to leave this off with you guys. Even if they had a video that came out of Trump with underage girls naked,
I've said
okay, as well deals with Russia.
I've said
on
that.
record.
But hold on, I agree with you, and I've said that if I'll make it even worse. If Trump was raping a child on camera, some of these people would probably still vote for him.
The 37%,
No,
his
not
base
only
would
that,
stay with him no matter
not
what.
only that, but what it is I don't have faith in the Democratic Party to be able to prosecute him. They had 94 felonies that they fumbled the ball on the goal line on every single one. I have no faith in the Democratic Party. Look what they just did now. We need to start a new party. Screw the Democrats. We are. I mean, how much more are we going to?
Well, you got to look on social media. How many videos on social media are asking Chuck Schumer to step down? How many people are saying Chuck needs to step down? It's time to go. You did a good job. Bye. Have a nice day. He takes millions of dollars from AIPAC.
I agree.
He's someone who has soiled the position that he's in, but he's not going to step aside, Brian. He's not going to step aside anytime soon. He's got a lot of power and a lot of money.
Yeah, I completely agree. Thank you for the call. Before I take another phone call, it's 702-221-SAVE. That's 702-221-7283. MAGA, always welcome to call in.
I'll be nice.
I do have a gift for PTL tomorrow on the program. It's going to be a lot of fun. I have been given the okay by Tim Pool's people to air excerpts of the show that I did over the weekend.
That's going to be great.
I'm going to be playing some highlights of it tomorrow where I just rip Myron Gaines a new one. Like I said, I was in that mode for the entire show. So, and by the way, the guy who assaulted me, you're going to see him tomorrow as well because he spoke.
People will not be surprised what he looks like.
Yeah. But I'm going to be playing you excerpts of that show I did live in DC where I went after Myron really hardcore. I made it personal with him. I went at Epstein hard. And we're going to play some highlights from the show before it even airs.
I can't wait.
Before it airs on Friday, Tim Pool's people have given me the okay to play some highlights. So I'm going to be playing it tomorrow. Let me just say this. I watched it on my computer today, and it's even better than I thought it was. So it's really
I watched a little bit of it. It's very good. I can't wait to see it.
It's very entertaining. So we're going to be playing some clips of that tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, number to call 702-221-7283. Let's go to Alexa. Alexa is next up on PTL. Hey, Alexa, what's going on?
Hi, Alexa.
Hello. Hello, Brian. It's Alexa.
Hey, how you doing?
I was going to make the comment, if the files come out, would it be a slap for the victim? Because what kind of files are going to come out? You know that they mess with their files forever. So what kind of information in the files that we have now that we didn't have before?
Well, that's a really good question, Alexa. And more details, naming names, the types of people, the title, the name that. But you have, there was so the victims have an attorney. The attorney was on MSNBC the other day, and what he said is one of the big issues that they're waiting to solve is that there was video. There was video at the island. There was video at Mar-a-Lago, and that shows everyone who came in, everybody who left, everybody who parked in the parking lot, everybody who met with Jeffrey Epstein, everyone that went in the room. And also, they haven't released the money trail. So what happens, Brian, you think, when we get to the money trail? What's going to happen when they start tracking those millions and millions? Because that's the information, the videos, the money trail. That's the information they're hiding. That's these 43,000 pages and the emails. Yeah, they came out, and that's great. And he was mentioned in there, but nothing that would, indict someone in those emails. But the videos, and what about the money trail? What about when they trace all the money back?
Let me ask another
to where
question.
it came from?
What do you think Donald Trump was doing with the alleged victim for hours in Jeffrey Epstein's
We all
home?
know.
What do you think?
Brian.
You think they were
Alexa,
just having?
Were
they just having coffee together?
Yes,
Were they just talking old? I mean, what is he doing with an underage girl for hours? And by the way, Jeffrey Epstein's the one who confirmed that in an email. Why would Jeffrey Epstein lie about that? It makes absolutely no sense.
But if they bring about now, it will not be good.
Well, unfortunately, there's so many people in the MAGA Trump base that would not be very happy with that. They would not be very happy with that at all. So I appreciate the call, my dear. Thank you so much. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Again, 702-221-SAVE. Let's go to Chad. Chad is next up on PTL. Hi, Chad.
Hey, Brian, what's up?
What's up, Chad?
I know everybody's mad at the Democrats because of 8 people, but we can't just stop that vote for. We need to get the Republicans out first, then we can turn inward to get the bad actors out of the Democrats. I keep hearing these people, I ain't vote for the Democrats now. That's a dumb play. We got to get the Republicans out first.
Well, I agree with you in a general sense that the midterms are obviously extremely important. And I certainly agree with you that that's step one in this phase. I think what 7 Democrats and 1 independent did the other day is an absolute disgrace. They caved. They have no backbone, and they're cowards. And I think that set the Democrats back. I think the Democrats had some momentum in putting this on Donald Trump, which is clearly, was working. And you look at the elections last week, it proved that. And then all of a sudden, they caved.
Can I ask Chad? Chad, can I ask you a question? Chad, this is Leonard.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I understand what you're saying, and I agree. We have to fight. We have to push back. We have to stick together. But what my question is do you think with the current leadership, can we accomplish that? With the leaders we have, can we? And someone in the room in the live chat was saying that Lawrence O'Donnell the other day mentioned that nobody wants to take that spot from Chuck Schumer. That's not accurate. What if Bernie Sanders took over his spot with the energy he has and the way he articulates?
I'm sorry, Bernie, he turned against the Democrats too much. He's too old. Yes, we need new leadership. But right now, the most important thing is get the Republicans out.
Yeah, but can the leadership get us there? If you have the wrong manager in baseball and the wrong coach, you're not going to win.
It's about the voters. We got to get out there and vote and get these Republicans out. Then we can start getting these Democrats out there and doing right. I agree with you. Yes, I'm not happy with a lot of these leaders, but we got to get the Republicans out because they fall in line. They fall in line. We got to get them out.
I agree, Chad, but you know what? I've been watching Chuck Schumer for years, and as I sit here, unless you can tell me, I don't even know what his policy is on immigration. I honestly couldn't tell you what Chuck Schumer's policy on immigration is. You know why? Because as a leader, he doesn't address it. That's the problem I have.
I think there's a lot of things that Chuck Schumer doesn't address. I don't think he has much of a backbone. I'm glad Nancy Pelosi is out of the picture. We need younger people. I keep saying this all the time. We need younger,
newer ideas,
stronger people in Democrat leadership. I would say that Hakeem Jeffries is better than Chuck Schumer.
He's been doing better lately.
But it's not enough. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you would like to be a part of the conversation. Let's see, who are we going to next here? Let's go to Paul calling from the UK. What's up, Paul?
Hi, Brian. Hi, Leonard.
It's been a long time, Paul. How are you?
I'm very well. Very well, thank you. Just on the Epstein thing, just for a moment, because it is very important.
Sure.
If your president's a paedophile, I think it should be known. I would think it would be a disqualifier for me anyway. Here's the thing. There's one clip which nobody ever talks about of Trump, and I don't know whether you know this clip, but it's actually quite rare, where he was asked if he had an age limit, meaning a lower limit. Right. And his first response, anybody can get it on YouTube. His first response was no, and then he caught himself. He started off by saying, "No, I have no lower."
They were talking about a 12-year-old girl, right,
himself.
Paul? Wasn't a conversation for context about a 12-year-old girl?
You know what? I can't remember that part. I remember the clip when he was literally asked. It was like in a jocular conversation. I don't know if it was Howard Stern show, and I'm not sure. But he was asked that simple question: "Do you have a limit, lower limit?" And he started off by saying no. Then he said he would correct himself, and he referred to somebody, a prominent person who had been done as a
the girl was a little
paedophile.
too young, but he didn't say
him.
Only because she was, I think, 12, if I remember the clip. But beyond that, he didn't say that any other age was too young for him.
That's true.
No, that's right. But he started off by saying, no, there's no age too young. Now, just to extend this point, when you look at one of the most, I'm trying to say this succinctly, one of the most damning pieces of evidence about Ted Bundy, you've all seen it, is when the prosecutor cut down the numbers statistically. He said, how many Teds are there in such and such an area? And then he cut out the non-Teds. How many of them got a beige VW? He cut out the ones that haven't got a beige VW, and he cut it down until it was left with one, basically.
Paul, can I ask you a question? Since you're from the UK, and for the listeners, Paul is actually from the UK. What do you think of the fact that Trump has been shooting these fishing boats out of the Caribbean Sea with no probable cause and no proof that they were running drugs, and now the UK has announced that they're not going to share secret information with the United States anymore? What do you think of that?
It's massive. Number one, we don't like Keir Starmer's position with Trump. I would say 65% of Brits do not like him sucking up to Trump. But for Keir Starmer to do this is massive. And it's going under the radar a bit.
It's a big deal, right? I think it's a big deal.
Well, we've been loyal, but since you split from us, a couple of hundred years ago, we've been closely lined up with America, loyal to America, more so than any other country. For him to do this is a huge diss.
Well, we've been getting the majority of our intel from UK for decades, for, like you said, a century or more. We're sharing intelligence and important worldwide intelligence, and now they say they're not going to share with Trump anymore because they disagree with him blowing up boats in the Caribbean Sea and the South Pacific Sea.
Is he the war criminal? That's the message underneath it. We're not going to share intel with a war criminal.
That's true.
Thanks, Paul. That's good insight. We really, always a good call with you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. I appreciate your time and calling in. And you're absolutely right, by the way. 702-221-7283 if you'd like to be a part of the show. We're talking about a number of different issues here. Of course, the big story today is the Epstein emails with Maxwell that have been released, which prove what we already knew. Donald Trump's a scumbag. He's in the Epstein files, and he probably sodomized children. I truly believe that. Epstein saying that he was at his house for hours with an alleged victim, and Trump knew exactly what was going on with these underage girls. That's what it said in the emails. I believe it, but Republicans are continuing to make excuses. Nothing to see here, ladies and gentlemen. Why didn't Biden release this 4 years ago? So stupid, these people. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Rebecca. Rebecca is next up on PTL. Hey, Rebecca, what's going on?
Hey, Brian. Hey, Leonard. Love you
Hi
both.
there.
Yeah, the victim that he spent hours with was with the 13-year-old Katie Johnson after he forced sex on her, didn't use a condom, and then when she cried and said, well, what if you get me pregnant, he threw a stack of $100 bills at her and told her to take care of it. And second of all, I'm very nervous about Beetlejuice. She's very thirsty. She can be bought.
Yep.
I pray she doesn't cave.
I agree with you.
I agree. I think they both will, actually. I think they both will cave. Who knows what Donald Trump is offering
He's
them.
going to tell them their career's over is what he's going to tell them.
Probably.
Should we call their opposite? I mean, what can we all do?
Yes.
I'm getting so disheartened, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, my dear. I know a lot of people, personal friends, people who called up some of the Democrats who cowardly voted for this GOP, shutdown, reopening, whatever you'd like to call it, and they never get a call back. These politicians are cowards. They are cowards. They don't return your phone calls. They don't care. All they care about is getting your vote. And once they get your vote, they're all in it for themselves. That's it. That's it.
All we can hope is that the information comes out eventually, and that people start to put more and more pressure on. And it looks like later today, the news is announcing breaking news that they're having the top officials for Trump are having a meeting in the war room about the files coming out. That's pretty serious. That means they're pretty worried.
Well, they should be worried. There's obviously, absolutely. There's a lot of very damning stuff in there. We know that. We know Trump has been trying really hard for a very long time, including the MAGA Republicans in office, to try to not release these files. It's why Mike Johnson has
hold the line, Beetlejuice. Hold the line.
Tell him, Rebecca.
I have no
call her. Make that call. You never know when it's going to count.
Maybe Donald Trump is offering his 1-inch mushroom in return, so hopefully she doesn't accept at a Beetlejuice.
We have no confirmation of that, Brian.
No confirmation. I don't know. Allegedly, that's what I've heard. The other disgusted veteran on the super chat. I don't know if you'd like to read it for us.
For some reason, they go down quick.
I
don't know how to access them.
I got it. Well, there's blue pills you could take for that. Cadet Bone Spurs brought up taking away Veterans Day. He can't breathe without dishonoring us.
There it is.
I'm the last in 5 generations of soldiers and Marines. This cannot stand. I'm furious. Well, we all are, my friend.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. And
somebody had to do it.
Happy late Veterans Day to you, sir, and I appreciate your support of the show. Your questions and comments can be read in the YouTube Super Chat. Of course, you could also go to my website, which is pushingthelimits.live, talking about the release of more of these Epstein emails, I guess you could say. And Donald Trump is scared beyond belief, scared so much so that he had private meetings with Lauren Boebert and Nancy Mace today. And then Caroline Leavitt said, oh, well, they're talking about a number of issues. Yeah, I'm sure that's what it is.
And his top officials are in the war room?
Yeah.
They're getting together in the war room to decide what to do.
Because they don't know what to do.
Well, they just, on breaking news, Adelita Grijalva just was sworn in.
Good.
So it's official. So there's some trouble coming.
What's little Mike Johnson going to do now? What's going to be the next excuse?
He looked so sad the other day. He looked like he was... Is hair turning gray before my eyes, or is it just me?
Yeah, I think it is. I think he's aged a lot over the course of.
That's what happens when
he hasn't had enough time to monitor what porn his son is watching. Yeah.
When your soul knows that what you're doing is wrong, and it feels that every day, that could drain you and keep you. I'm sure he's up at night. I'm sure he's anxious. Maybe even taking sleeping pills to sleep. I don't know. He looks bad.
Well,
he looks like he's aging quickly.
Well, I wish Mike Johnson nothing but the worst. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the program. Now, listen, we've talked about a lot of different topics as we do every day on this show. But I can tell you right now that for many, not all, but many people who voted for Donald Trump, even they didn't vote for this. They didn't vote for 600,000 people in China to come out here to take American jobs.
How could they not be mad
I know
about
they
that?
didn't vote for that. I know that they did not vote for an Epstein cover-up. They did not want that. If you asked all these people who voted for Trump before the election, they would tell you they're not voting for H-1B jobs taken from Indians. They didn't vote for massive deficits. Of course they didn't.
They didn't vote for government shutdown.
They didn't say
losing their food benefits,
They
waiting in bread lines. I'm sure none of them voted for that.
Yeah.
They didn't see it coming.
I agree with you. I don't think they voted for a ballroom. I don't think they voted for bronze, silver, or gold-plated, whatever there is in the White House. They certainly didn't vote for a former leader of Al-Qaeda to be invited to the White House. I don't think that's America first, or bailing out other economies.
$40 billion.
They didn't vote for the carnage that continues to take place in Ukraine. They voted for the war is going to be over in 24 hours. That's what I thought they voted for. And while you could list a few things, few instances where prices have gone down, for the most part, inflation's been up for the last 5 months, month to month. And did you see these job reports in the private sector? They're atrocious.
That they're trying to hide.
Yeah.
153,000 jobs were lost in October.
Yeah.
And that they will not, and that's from the businesses, Brian. That's not from the Department of Labor. Trump will not allow the Department of Labor to even report on the job losses or on how many people are on unemployment and how it's going up.
Well, I don't know. I guess this is the golden age, isn't it? That's what they say,
The
right?
totalitarianism age?
The golden age. It's the fat, obese, 34-count felon, liable, abusing golden age is what it is. Let's make sure we buy those Trump trading cards and those Trump Bibles, though.
Can we invite a MAGA to call in? Can we say if you're
they're afraid. Anybody, we don't have to.
What
ask
about if
for
they're
it.
just a
Anybody's
conservative
welcome.
Republican?
Anybody's welcome to call in. 702-221-7283.
I would love to hear the reasoning.
702-221-7283 is the number to call if you would like to be a part of the conversation. Let's see. Let's go to CJ. I believe CJ is next up on PTL. What's up, CJ?
Wow, that was quick. Anyway, sorry I'm not a MAGA. But I think I may have found some, shall we say, kryptonite for Carolyn.
Okay.
And for Mike Johnson and for anybody else who says they're a true Christian and that they're in this for that reason. Jesus said, if you blaspheme the Holy Ghost, that is the unpardonable sin. It will unsave you.
That's
even
true.
if you're a saved Christian, you're guaranteed eternity, lake of fire. So I want a reporter one time to ask them to swear on the Holy Ghost, Holy Spirit, to something they just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen because
And they
you're
cannot
talking
be
about
deceiving
fake Christians.
in any
You're
way.
not talking about
no trying to shade the truth, no trying to use deceptive wording of a technical truth. Like Rush Limbaugh once said, not once said, he used to say often on his show that according to the U.S. Forestry Service, the United States has twice as many acres of forest today than it did when the Declaration of Independence was signed. Well, yeah, the United States was like just the Atlantic seaboard back then.
Is Rush Limbaugh, is he been in hell? Do you think he's taking any painkillers? I don't know. That's the question that I would ask him.
Hey, CJ, can we joke around with you for a minute?
Sure.
So in your Rush Limbaugh voice, can you say, I listen to the Pushing the Limits radio show with Brian Shapiro every day. I swear to God, I do listen to it, and I love it.
I listen to the Rush Limbaugh. I listen to the Rush Limbaugh show every day, and I swear to God.
No, you listen to the Brian Shapiro show.
How could you listen to the Rush Limbaugh show? He's dead. He's dead.
I got the name of the person. Sorry. I listen to the Brian Shapiro show every day, and I love it.
There you go. That's a good clip right there.
What was
Thank you, Rush.
Thank you, Rush. I appreciate the call. What was the network that Rush Limbaugh was on? I don't remember.
It was AM. It was AM, correct? Wasn't AM?
No, but there was like a big network that he was on. I don't even remember, but that guy was the worst.
The Anti-Constitutional Network, is that what it was called?
Yeah, I think so. Let me be clear on this too, because I sometimes I don't make myself clear with some of you special MAGA people. I hope Rush Limbaugh is burning in hell. He was a cancer to society. Now, I understand that cancer eventually got to him, and I know what some of you are going to say. Oh, Brian, were you rooting for people to die? No, I wasn't. But the day Rush Limbaugh died, we had one less bigot in society, okay? Rush Limbaugh was a cancer to society, and he was a horrific human being. And it's so interesting now as I look at the state of affairs and where we're at in D.C. right now and what's going on there, and I see so many who have supported Donald Trump for such a long time, all of a sudden now maybe beginning to realize that this wasn't what you voted for. And listen, these people are, many of them are racist bigots. But when Donald Trump is the guy who says he's bringing in 600,000 people to take American jobs because he doesn't feel like we have enough talented people in this country. Yeah, that's going to upset.
That's just rude, Brian.
That's
insulting.
It's going to upset the MAGA base. And that's what he said. And obviously, if you have a brain, which I know many of you who voted for Donald Trump do not, but if you have a brain, you understand why Donald Trump and his administration are trying to cover up the release of the Epstein files. Hey, here's one. Because he's in them. That's why. And because there's very damning stuff in the Epstein files where Donald Trump is in the files. They are doing everything and anything they can right now as we speak to make sure that we don't see the Epstein files because they are protecting a pedophile. And for years, all we hear from MAGA Republicans, we still hear it from them, all the pedophiles in Hollywood, the pedophiles on the left, when they have supported a pedophile themselves and they don't know what to do. So what are the excuses that they are doing? Well, besides meeting with Nancy Mace, the disgrace, and Lauren Beetlejuice Boebert, besides doing that today to try to get them to not vote, right? Besides doing all that stuff, what they are doing now and the excuses that they are making now is, oh, well, this is Democrats, the timing of this. Why didn't they release it 4 years ago? Those are the excuses.
Well, Kash Patel answered that question.
Yeah.
Why aren't you releasing him? You know what he said? Because a lot of important people would get in trouble if I did. A lot of them will lose their jobs or get arrested if I did.
So
I mean, that's the director of the FBI. He said why they're not releasing them.
Yeah.
And the Democrats, to be clear to everyone who's listening who hasn't decided yet, the Democrats' position is they want the files released in full and the videotapes and the money and the banking so we can follow the money. And I personally think that's what the Republicans and Donald Trump are truly afraid of, because if they get an order to release everything, especially from the Epstein estate, they're going to release everything. They're going to give everything that we need to know and exactly who was involved. I say release all the Epstein files.
Well, I don't care. Yeah, like you, I don't care whether it's a Republican or a Democrat. I don't care what letter you have next to
I don't care who they are. I don't care what their position
is.
And
I've been very clear on that, and I understand that the Maxwell trial happened during the Biden administration where many of those files were sealed. But the excuse I hear from MAGA Republicans is basically, well, we believe Joe Biden was hiding it 4 years ago, so that makes it okay for us to hide it. That's really the only
You know when
excuse
Epstein, not to interrupt you, you know when Epstein was booked? 2019.
Correct.
Okay, who was the president in 2019? Anyone?
And by the way, I'm not necessarily a conspiracy theorist, but I've had Jeffrey Epstein's brother on this show multiple times, and I agree with him. His brother was
he said it
did
straight
not
out.
Take his own life. That his brother was murdered. I don't think there's any way around that.
Yeah, there was 1 minute to 3 minutes of video missing. I mean, what else do you need to know?
Yeah, I mean,
he was alive 1 minute, and the next minute he wasn't. And the video, we lost some of the video feed.
Yep.
Come on.
There's no question about
That's not even a conspiracy theory. That's just common sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll take more of your phone calls on the other side. We always get those people on social media that that are keyboard warriors that call me a bunch of names. They call me a liar. They say I'm a hypocrite, but yet they don't have, because they're cowards.
Do they have the phone number?
Because they're cowards. They're not able to call into a show because they know that they don't have the brain power to do so. But if you think I'm a liar and a coward, and you have the courageousness to be able to type it on your laptop or your phone, then I would ask, why don't you call into the show and let's have a conversation? Well, here's the opportunity for them to do so. Number to call, 702-221-7283, 702-221-SAVE. If not, you're a coward. That's the way I'll keep it. I'll keep it at that. I want to get a little bit more into the fact that they're hiding Donald Trump's health. So we'll talk about that when we come back as well. We'll take a few more of your phone calls at 702-221-7283. Be back right after this. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
Hey, everybody. Are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premier Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super hero, that is, because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Who would have thought there'd be so many kids playing ice hockey in the desert? Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, founded by Gina Yusufzai 8 years ago, made it possible for families who can't afford the equipment and fees. Donate today at www.hockeyforkids.org and help us continue making a difference. Join us in supporting Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, where every kid gets a shot at the starting line. Just a reminder, our website is www.hockeyforkids.org.
You are way too smart, way too talented, way too good to be where you are. You are meant to be making way more money, feel way hotter in your body, and having way more fun. Hi, I'm Nicole Mitchell, and I'm a life coach. I help you get hotter and richer. If that is what you're looking for, you can find me at NicoleMitchell.com. My name, Nicole, is with a K, NicoleMitchell.com. You can reach out to me on my website or on Instagram, and I will be happy to be in touch and figure out what you're looking for and how I can support you in getting there.
Have you ever dreamed of having your own radio show or a podcast, but just didn't think it was possible? Well, dreams can come true. Radio U. Radio U is a 5-day course that'll teach you how to acquire your dream show. We'll teach you how to host, how to write commercial, how to interview, how to market, how to write a contract, and most importantly, how to monetize your dream radio show. You'll learn from some of the best in the business with over 75 years in broadcast experience. You'll learn from people like me. And the best part, every single student will be live on the radio as part of the class. Plus, one student from each class will get their very own radio show. You'll be live on the air right here in Las Vegas. Radio U. The 5-day course is being offered at $699. For more information, give Radio U a call. 702-763-5024. That's 702-763-5024. Or check them out at RadioYOU101.com.
All right, welcome back. Pushing the Limits on a Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be hearing from excerpts from my Tim Pool live appearance in front of a live studio audience at the Comedy Club. I'm going to be playing you some audio from that. Oh boy, it was a lot of fun.
I can't wait to hear it. I saw some of the clips, and I can only imagine what the full conversation was about. It seemed like really fun.
Put it this way, we're going to have to bleep out a lot. We're going to have to bleep out a lot of stuff.
Well, that's okay. I mean, they invited you.
Yep.
You took the challenge.
I did.
And it sounds to me like you'll be taking more challenges in the future. And,
absolutely.
And, and like I said, you were praying Ben Shapiro. I can't wait to have him with his canned responses, his practice responses. He's not going to do well in an open debate because debate's not about canned responses. It's about making your point that you believe in.
Yeah. I would love to. I would love to not interview. I mean, I would interview him too, but I would love to debate him. While we're doing the show here, eating. Leonard's wife does a wonderful job, and I'm eating these carrot cake cupcakes, and they're just so amazing.
Made from scratch.
They're like, oh my god, so good.
She actually takes the time to shred the carrots herself.
Oh my god, it's delicious.
Great
Really
job,
good.
great job, honey, on the cupcakes.
I'm gonna have like 8 more of them. I'm not gonna have lunch today. Number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation: 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you would like to be a part of the conversation. All right, let's get back to those phone calls, and let's go to Thomas. Thomas is next up on PTL. What's up, Thomas?
Hey, Brian, this is Thomas, or a Nostalgic Dragon calling once again.
What's going on, man?
Yeah, so you were calling me out, so I decided to let you call me out. You're saying that I was a coward if I didn't call in, so here I am.
Well, I'm glad you called in. So, are you one of those people that calls me names like a liar and all this other stuff? Or
well, as of recently, yes.
Okay, so what have I lied about? That's fine. So tell me, and thank you for calling in. What have I lied about on this show?
Sure. Well, for one of the biggest ones was a couple weeks ago or whatever it was now. You said that the Young Turks were anti-Semites, and then I called in 2 days later and you said
Nope. You're going to stop right there.
You never said that.
Never did I say that the Young Turks are anti-Semites. You are a liar. When you call into a show, you can call me whatever you like. That's fine. You're the liar. So I'll tell you what. I'll make a bet with you. You can give the producer your name and your number. Okay. Nope. Let me finish. Yeah. I will make a wager with you that never once did I ever say, quote, the Young Turks are anti-Semite. I have never said that.
How much do you want to wager, Brian?
I'm sorry, what?
How much would you like to wager?
Well, how much do you have? What do you do for a living? Where do you work?
I'm all in.
So you're saying on this show I said, quote, the Young Turks are anti-Semites.
Yep, you said it on Wednesday.
How about free tickets to your next show?
It's just so ridiculous, these people. All right.
I can't make it.
All right. So you're claiming that I claim that the Young Turks are anti-Semite. They're very anti-Israel. I've never said anti-Semite. So since we can, you can find me the audio and the time that I played that. And if you're right, I'll go on the air.
It's all online. It's all on YouTube, all of it.
I'll go on the air. Okay. Well, guess what? Then what you need to do, since you're making the claim, which I'm saying I did not do, is you need to post or email me the exact time and what show that I said that. Otherwise, you're the one that is going to be labeled a liar. But that's fine. We can move on. I'm on the air. I'm on the air 10 hours. I don't know why you're laughing. I mean, I'm on the air 10 hours a week. Okay. So surely you could come up with a couple of other examples of why you think I'm a liar. Go ahead, sir.
Well, the other thing you lied about was this. Okay, check this out. You called Jank a pathetic coward.
There he goes with the Young Turks again.
For not being hard enough.
Sir, are you?
You're doing the same thing with Tim Pool.
Do you
were on Tim Pool again? Were you not?
What did I say?
Out this time for taking Russian money?
Did I call out Tim Pool? Okay, so first of all, that's not a lie. I asked you. You're very bad at direction, sir. You called into this show and you didn't say, Brian, I'd like to criticize you about Tim Pool. No. The question was, what did I lie about? If you don't like the way I handled the appearance with Tim Pool, I would call you a buffoon. But that's not a lie. You see, you just didn't like my choice of answering. Or by the way, sir, when somebody no, it's not all right. It's not all right. No, it's not all right. No,
that's the one line. And the other things are ridiculous.
So hold on. Let's get this right. I've been on the air for 23 years. I've been doing this show 10 hours a week for 3 years. And I'm a liar, you claim, and the only thing that you allege is that I called the Young Turks anti-Semites, and I would still ask you to find that show and find that moment. But because of that, you're going to label me a liar. Is that correct, sir? Is that you calling? Is that correct? Do I have you right? Yes or no, sir?
Yes.
No, not well. Yes.
Instance,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's very intelligent, sir. A 23-year radio career. You called the Young Turks a liar. Or anti-Semitic, and that's your only.
Well,
and that's your. Hold on.
Example.
And that's your. I know it took you time to try to think of another one, right? Because you look like a fool.
Yeah,
but that's the reason why you go into my chat and you call me a liar, which makes you sound like a complete moron. But go ahead and give me another alleged lie. Stop with your Tucker
Can I
Carlson laugh.
ask-
Hold on. Give me another lie. Give me another lie.
Yeah,
Go
no,
ahead.
fuck.
Go ahead. Give me another lie, Tucker. Give me another lie.
Excuse me.
Thomas, can I ask you a question?
Well, hold on.
Can
He
I ask
wants
him a question?
Sure.
Yes, but
Well-
give me the other lie real quick, and then Leonard wants.
Yeah,
to ask you.
so the other lie,
Yeah.
you're going to disagree, but it was way back earlier this year. You said that Jank was.
Oh my God!
pathetic
You know
coward
what? There
for-
you go with the Young Turks again. You're
Is
such
he
a
talking about?
dumbass.
He's talking about
Such a-
Jank. Jank is the one that they went back and found his posts, and they were saying the news was saying he had anti-Semitic lines in his previous posts. That was an issue for him. That's what they were accused of. It had nothing to do with what Brian said. Brian would never say that because, first of all, he doesn't care. He doesn't care if they're anti-Semitic, and Brian is not anti-Semitic, and he has no reason to say that. But I'll tell you what. I'll tell you if you can go ahead and find the post and you
which
can
he
prove
won't.
us wrong,
Which he won't.
then we'll give you free tickets to Brian's
Oh,
next
I will.
event.
Oh, the email's coming. Don't worry.
Okay, yeah, I can't wait. I'm sure it is. God, so we asked you for another lie. You keep going back to the Young Turks. You can't get off of that. All the topics that I discuss on this show every single day, and you can't come up with another topic where you think I'm a liar. Makes you look
because
stupid.
listen, I watch the Young Turks and you.
I don't
every
care.
day.
I don't care.
Cenk Uygur is a liar. He's lied many times.
I don't care whether you watch the Young Turks. Come up with another. If you watch me every day and you think I'm a liar, come up with another example of me lying, which you haven't been able to do.
Also, check this out. All right. Will you please answer me this, because that's the one lie I got you, and I can't.
Okay, and you can't think of any. Yeah, right.
You didn't get him on anything.
Right. You didn't get me on anything, bro.
But please answer me this: do you think that Marjorie Taylor Greene should be deported to Gaza? Because you have you definitely said that many times.
Sure. So let me answer a question by stating this.
She's literally like one of the
Are you
only
going to
Republicans
shut?
that
Are you going to let me?
going on.
Are you going to let me
Ridiculous
answer? Or are you
to
going
deport
to?
her.
Are you going to interrupt?
Yes,
Are you going to?
He asked the question.
Thank you. That's very nice of you, even though it's my show. Thank you for allowing me to answer your stupid question. So when I make statements, hyperbole statements, I would say, that I want people. Are you going to be quiet? Be quiet.
I'm listening.
No, you're not. You're interrupting me. Stop interrupting me, dumbass. Okay? When you claim, when I make a statement like, I hope you're deported to Gaza, let me ask you a question. Is that hyperbole, or do you actually believe that I think American citizens, because I disagree with their political opinions and I don't think they're good people, that they should be treated like some immigrants are being treated?
I know it's hyperbole, but it's
so it's a stupid
satire.
So you're a moron, sir. You're a moron. You don't understand what satire is.
Why would you say that?
You're a moron.
I
hope you're deported.
By the IDF. Hilarious.
Did I ever make a statement on this show that I hope Marjorie Taylor Greene is killed?
So then why do you hope that they get deported?
Okay, because you have to see the hyperbole of it. You have to see the satirical ability. When Jon Stewart was saying that they're no longer breaking any rules or laws,
do you understand
it was satire?
Okay,
it's
so
comedy.
Sir, you just admitted.
Oh, hilarious!
Are you going to shut up again?
It was hilarious.
Hold on a second.
I'm listening, Brian. Calm down.
No, you're not. Shut up. That means stop talking. You just admitted that it's hyperbole.
Yeah.
I don't think you know what the definition of hyperbole is, but even though you admit that it's hyperbole, you try to dive deep into the weeds and say, does that mean you want Marjorie Taylor Greene killed? So let me give you some hyperbole so some moron like you might be able to understand. I hope you're deported to Gaza, and I hope
that's satire.
I hope that they play Taylor Swift.
Right,
I'm not done yet. I'm not. I don't care. I don't care. You're lying, sir. You're lying, sir. You're lying. I heard you say it 2 months ago, sir. You're lying. I hope that you're sent to Gaza. I hope that you're. Yeah, there you go with the Tucker Carlson feminine laugh again. I hope that you're deported to Gaza. I hope they put you in a jail cell, and Taylor Swift, you're forced to listen to 24/7, and I'll provide you a Trump Bible, and you could listen listen to your Young Turks 24/7.
We'll send them books at the Young Turk Library.
Why don't you take your Young Turk knee pads off, understand what hyperbole is, and take the MAGA wax out of your ears, you bumbling fool.
I'm not MAGA, by the way.
We'll send you a Cenk Uygur book.
Okay, sir. I
We'll
think
send
you're a
you one of his
liar.
books.
I think you're a liar because you said something about that 2 months
I
ago
voted
to one of my
Kamala.
friends.
Are you kidding me?
I think you're a liar, sir. I think you sold one of my friends 2 months ago that you voted for Donald Trump. I'll prove it. I'll prove it, sir. I'll prove it. You're a liar. And then I'm going to go on a chat with your 2 listeners if you have a podcast.
I'll have the video,
and I'll tell everybody.
okay?
I'll have everybody on your chat call you a liar too. Okay, dude, you're wasting
He's
my
obsessed
time.
with the Young
You're
Turks.
wasting my time. Get off. Get this idiot off my show.
What was his obsession
You're a
with the
complete
Young
idiot.
Turks, Brian? He's like obsessed with that.
Oh my God.
He's been on like 3 times since I've been there, and that's
Complete.
all he talks about is Cenk and the Young Turks, who have been accused of anti-Semitism. So why is he calling you?
I believe
and pressuring you about that.
I believe they're extremely anti-Israel and anti-Israeli government. But anyway, that guy's a moron. Let's take some other phone calls. Let's go to Andy. Andy is next up on PTL. Hey, Andy, what's up?
Oh, is this Brian?
No, you want to speak to Brian?
Please hold.
Oh, here we go again.
Is this Andy? Is this Andy?
Please hold.
This is Andy.
Okay, I'm sorry, Andy. Go right ahead. I'm just teasing you. Go ahead.
All right. Oh, here we go. You're not playing this game on me. You did this to me last time.
I'm not
because
playing
your
a game.
phone-
I'm
Okay, you're
not
talking to Brian.
Andy, let me
All
be
right,
very
hey,
clear.
Leonard.
Hold on.
All
Andy,
right.
let me be very clear so somebody like you can understand. Andy, you're live on the radio right now.
There you
You're
go.
on a syndicated
Thank you.
show.
Mhm.
You're speaking to a guy by the name of Brian Shapiro. Did I make that clear enough for you? Go ahead now.
Okay. Now here we go with the constructive criticism. Are
Fine.
you ready?
Go right ahead.
All right. Here's the problem. The problem is you want these right-wing guys to interview because you want access, so you glaze them, like George Santos.
I glaze
You let him go on and on and on and on.
No, that's not true. They blaze themselves. If they call and they have a good quality point and they're making a good point, then Brian will let them make
George
it.
Santos?
So let me respond.
George Santos? How many good points did George Santos?
Sir, I'm trying to respond to what you just said in a very respectful manner. First of all, something that you are very unaware of because you're clearly not a radio business and you didn't know how much time I had with him. So let me educate you. When I had George Santos coming on the show, I had a maximum of 15 minutes. I don't even think I got that. In a 15-minute conversation, and the reason why I wanted to have him on was to not debate about policy or how horrible Donald Trump is. It was to talk about his pardon. That took about 10 minutes of the interview. We had a little bit of debate. I did not have time to go at it with him. Now, if George gave me an hour or a long-form debate that I had with Myron Gaines and Tim Pool and those types of conversations, then I would have had more time to have a conversation with him about things that I disagree with policy. When you have 15 minutes in a 15-minute interview,
about policy.
Sir, it was about, I just told you, it was about his pardon. And I asked him about Marjorie Taylor Greene because there were rumors that Marjorie was the reason why he was pardoned. I asked him if he would actually pay back the money that he stole from people. That was the logist of the interview, sir. In long form interviews, and by the way, it wasn't my idea to have him on for 15 minutes. It's all he was willing to give me. I would have rather had him on for 45 minutes or an hour to be able to have a real long form debate with, by the way, with some people that I do. So that wasn't me glazing George Santos. Also, you might disagree with my opinions on George Santos. I think he did some horrible things. I don't think he deserved to be pardoned. I also don't believe that he deserved to be in solitary confinement. There had to be somewhere in the middle. I also told him that you should pay back the people that you stole from. Now, I disagree with George on a number of policy issues, but I didn't have him on to talk about policy issues. I had him on to talk about his pardon. Now, does that clear things up for you at all, or do you still think I glaze George Santos?
You glazed George Santos.
Okay,
so if he called you a liar, if he called Brian a liar like the last person did, it would have went much differently. Am I right?
So how did I glaze George Santos after my explanation to you?
George Santos and Tim Pool.
Let's start with George. Let's start with George Santos, and I'm not going to tolerate your homophobic jokes. Okay, so let's go back to George Santos, and then I'm happy to have a Tim Pool conversation with you. Be specific. What did I say or do? Be specific. What did I say or do that would lead you to believe that I glazed George Santos? Go ahead.
Okay, listen. Hold on a minute. I have a job, right? I don't remember everything you said last week.
Okay, so you're making no. Hold on. No, pod you down, sir. When you call into a radio show and you make a claim, you should and you call somebody something. In this case, you're saying I glazed somebody. You should be able to at least come up with one or two things that I did in that very short 15-minute interview.
He was talking about how great Trump was, and
you think I agreed?
In the heart of hearts.
You can't let him go on your show just because you want access.
He wasn't okay. So first of all,
lie after
okay.
lie
So first
after
of all,
lie.
okay. So first of all, you clearly didn't hear anything I told you in the
I did
explanation.
hear.
No, you didn't, because if you did, you would understand. Either that or you're not very smart. Number two, I have George Santos's cell phone number. We've talked privately off the air. He will come on my show when I need him to come on my show. Lately, he's been a pretty busy guy. So it's not about access. You're also wrong about that. George has my. You're the one who talked about access. You're saying I had him on because I needed access. Okay, so you can't come up with anything that I said particularly in that
he
interview.
said it was a week ago, and he can't remember.
Yeah, you can't remember.
But he called
okay.
to talk about what you said. That makes no sense.
Okay, then guess what? If you have other things going on, then don't call into a show and make a claim. Don't come onto a show. Don't come onto a show and make a claim when you can't back it up with facts. Now, you also just said, sir, I know you have a job, but you also just said that I glazed Tim Pool. How did I glaze Tim Pool? Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm waiting.
It's not my job.
It's not your job. Okay, pod the idiot down.
But he called to talk about it.
So idiot, let me explain to you something. I didn't ask you to call into the show and make claims about me glazing people, okay? You're the one who called into the show. For example, if I called into Sean Hannity's show, for example, which I wouldn't, but if I did, and I say, you wear the Donald Trump knee pads 24/7. He said, give me some examples of why you feel that way. And I responded by saying, well, I work. I don't have any examples in front of me. You would call me an idiot, and rightfully so. Sir, you are an idiot. You call into a show. You're just like MAGA. You can't come up with any examples when you say I glaze over people. And by the way, you mentioned the Tim Pool Russia thing. I think that's something that you just mentioned, which, by the way, I've had private conversations with him. When somebody invites me on a show to have spirited debate on policy, it's not spirited debate on his personal financial dealings or my personal financial dealings. That wasn't something he wanted to talk about, and it's his show. I'm willing to get into debates with him. We talked about a number of different issues, and never did I glaze any of the topics when we talked about it. In fact, I probably disagreed with him on anything. Now, sir, I understand you have a job, so you probably need to get back to your job and make those glazed donuts. What do you think about that?
He should be more prepared.
Why don't you be more prepared when you call into the show?
It's not my job. I'm not on the radio.
So why don't you go back to your job?
You freaking
moron.
If he's going to call, he should be prepared. What do you mean it's not his job? Those were his questions. Like you said, you weren't feeding him questions. He was asking you, and then he said, I can't actually remember what he said. Then why call in? Why try to make a point?
Yeah, you glaze.
Is he a MAGA?
Let me be very clear, sir. I think you
glaze MAGA.
I think you glaze over me every single day. I think you pleasure yourself to me every single day. And I don't know, maybe you have a fetish for the Young Turks and you want to get that guy in the bedroom with you. I don't know. But, I found out it was the last caller, not this caller, both idiots. I don't know. You think I glaze over people. See, there's a difference between being respectful to somebody when you have a 15-minute interview and glazing over somebody. And what this guy feels.
No, you're glazing.
Okay, so go back to your job, sir, whatever you do. By the way, what do you do for a living? Let me ask you. What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living, sir? You've had 15.
Andy.
So why don't you flush yourself down the toilet?
Hey, Brian,
flush yourself down the toilet. You're a terrible plumber. Flush yourself down the toilet.
Are you a car salesman? Are you a used car salesman?
No, I'm a plumber.
You're a turd is what you are. You're a turd. Flush yourself down the toilet.
No, hold on a minute.
I respect plumbers.
Wait a minute.
You turd.
I'm a turd.
Yeah.
Okay, Brian.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You want an example?
Yeah, plumber. Yeah,
Is this
plumber.
name Andy? His name's not Andy, right?
The Russia tenant media thing was not about his personal finances.
Yes, it was.
He was going on and on and on about how terrible Ukraine was when he was getting that money from Russia.
Gotcha.
You should have done the research.
So do you have? No, I did do the research. In fact, I know a lot more
than
than
you did, because
No,
you
I
had
did.
no idea.
Okay, so what
You
was
had
he
no
said?
idea.
What was he told to say? What is the evidence that you have that he was told to spread Russian propaganda?
Oh, wait a minute. He was saying Ukraine was.
No, I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you what he said. I need you to pay attention to the question. I know people like you.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I need you to. That would mean that you have to listen.
I'm waiting.
Where's your evidence? That direct evidence. And by the way, that Russia paid him to spread propaganda. And my second part of the question is, why did the Joe Biden administration drop charges if there was wrongdoing? What's the matter? Back your tongue. You can't explain.
No, I'm answering the question. Hold on a minute.
No, you're not answering
so you're
it.
telling me
no,
you trust Benny Johnson?
No. Hold on. I asked you a question. I didn't
Rubin?
say I trust Benny Johnson. Answer my
Dave
question.
Rubin.
I didn't say I trusted David Rubin. Answer my question. Why did
Go ahead.
if you think there was wrongdoing, criminal wrongdoing, and there was criminality involved here? By the way, if an adversary pays you to spread disinformation, that's against the law. Joe Biden originally charged Tim Pool, and then his own DOJ dropped the charges. If there was wrongdoing in a criminal fashion, please explain to me why they dropped the charges. Go.
I will. Are you ready?
Yeah, I've been waiting. Go ahead.
Okay. How come Merrick Garland?
No. You don't answer the question with a question, dumbass. It has nothing to do with that. Answer me the question. Why did Joe Biden's DOJ drop the charges on Tim Pool if you're claiming there was criminality? Go.
Biden's DOJ didn't have a hair on their ass. That's
okay.
why.
So,
come on.
All right, get off my show. You're an absolute
They didn't
loser.
have hair on their ass. Really? That's your response?
I wish the plumber would be flushed down the toilet. Oh my God, what a moron!
He needs to do some research.
This guy didn't even know that the Biden administration dropped the charges. You see, sir, I think we know who did their research and who didn't. Don't call
Is
into
that a
the
legal
show.
term? He didn't have a hair on his ass. Is that
exactly.
a legal reasoning?
These people
is
are
that common sense? Is that factual? You need to read and study and then call back when you're a little more prepared to make the point.
I think he was
trying to make.
I think he was glazing.
That was terrible.
He was glazing over.
He glazed over Brian. He glazed over you.
He glazed. Let's go to Mike. Mike is next up on PTL. Hey, Mike, what's up? Hi, Mike. Go ahead.
Hey, Brian.
What's up? What's up, Mike? Go ahead.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up? Go right ahead.
Oh, I can't hear anybody.
You're on. This is Leonard. We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Oh, Leonard, I'm sorry.
Mike. Ready.
Oh, somebody had too much sugar.
Yep.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, I just got word that it may be too late for Bobart and Mace to take their names off the list.
I hope so. I hope so.
Grijalva has signed the list.
Mm-hmm.
She has signed the petition.
She has.
To my understanding, once that happens, they cannot take the name away.
So Mike, I hope you're right on that, and thank you for that information. So I would ask you this question, though. Why do you think Donald Trump wanted to meet with them today?
To bully them?
Yeah, you might be right. It's possible. Yeah.
I think, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Why would he meet with them to bully them? What does he have to hide? Didn't Trump's people, didn't Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, didn't they all want the list to come out? Didn't they want all the Epstein information to come out? Why would he be pressuring them now to change their vote?
Because Trump has a lot more to hide than he's letting on.
Well, Mike, I think we're on the same side here. Obviously, I hope that you're right, and we'll have to wait and see where the chips fall, where they may. But, Mike, I hope you're right. I'm going to have to look into that myself.
Tonight's going to be interesting.
It will. Let's go to Lori. Lori is next up on PTL. Hey, Lori, what's up?
Oh, and Pam Bondi.
Lori, you got to lower your radio for me, please. You're up next. Go right ahead. Hi, Lori.
There we go. Radio.
Hi, Lori.
Hi.
Hi.
I was going to say that this first meeting with Nancy and Bobo. Well, if he was successful in that and bullied them and bullshitted them to change their vote, if they can, that there wouldn't be a need for this second meeting. This second meeting is probably a spin meeting so that they can get ahead of everything that's in that file.
Again, Lori, very, very possible, and we'll get more of your thoughts tomorrow. I don't know if that's I don't know what's going to transpire here over the next 24 hours, but we're certainly going to cover it and we're going to find out for you, right?
Yep.
Let's go to Julie. Julie's next. What's up, Julie? Thanks for calling in.
Hello?
Hi,
Julie. You're on. What's on your mind?
Okay. I know y'all can't see the comments. I know I don't have long.
Yeah.
But I was defending somebody in the comments and 3 people called me stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So to those 3 people, screw you.
That's right.
I was saying that one person didn't have to call in.
Who do they think they are?
I was saying you call in if you want to call in so damn bad.
Well, I sometimes I don't always. I'll be honest with you. I need to do a better job. Sometimes I don't always monitor the YouTube super chat like I should. Trying to host a radio show in between.
Yeah, just stand up for yourself, Lori. Don't take any crap
But
from
if
those people.
if there's anything that's over the
Julie,
line that
I'm sorry,
see,
Julie.
I will certainly do my best to quiet those people. Who do we have next here? Who we have? Carl. Carl's next up on PTL. Hey, Carl, what's up? Got about 30 seconds, Carl. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll be real quick. You mentioned before about Trump taking a magnetic imaging test. His doctor ordered it. Well, standard checkups, most doctors do not order those unless they see something or suspect something bad. And then you get the magnetic imaging test. They just don't do that regularly. And unless the same doctor, his doctor's the one who said he had bone spurs, that's a possibility.
Well, we know that Donald Trump dodged the military multiple times.
He doesn't look healthy. I mean,
He does not.
I don't know if I should say that or not, but between his hands and his
Very
cankles,
very small hands, very large cankles.
his face is looking like it lacks energy, and his hair, and he's going on these rants.
don't make
like
fun of
these
his hair. Come on.
grandfather. No, I'm not making fun of him. I'm just being objective. Objectively, when you look at him, I'm asking you. When you look at him on the news and you see shots of him, does he look healthy?
He's never looked healthy. He's never looked healthy.
Well, he looked healthy enough.
He's a morbidly
he's
a morbidly obese man that could barely even swing a golf club. So no, to answer your question, he's the guy that
he wins every tournament.
He's the guy that if he's a one ahead of you in the buffet line, by the time you sit down and get food, you know it's all going to be gone.
Cold French fries are all that's left.
Yeah. There's a few select media members here, by the way, that I won't say their name, but when I am in the media room eating food here, and some of these so-called journalists are in the room, I'm afraid that the food's all going to be gone. But I won't say who I'm talking about. I would never do that, right?
That was a lot of fun.
Any of my friends know who I'm
talking about. A couple of
about.
good calls today.
Yes, Leonard, thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure. Tomorrow, we'll see what goes on here with the Epstein files, but also a treat for all of you. I did not glaze anybody on my panel in D.C. when Tim Pool was there with Alex Stein and Myron Gaines. I went at him really hard for 2 hours.
More like Blaze.
Yes, and he's seen a little bit of it. I'm going to be playing some of that for you tomorrow. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss it. Please check out my website, pushingthelimits.live. Again, that website, if you want to be a part of the show and donate, do what you can to help us keep the lights on here and support independent media, check out my website, which is pushingthelimits.live. Leonard, we will
Thanks
catch
for
up
having
with
me,
you.
Brian.
Absolutely, and thank your wife for these awesome cupcakes.
I will. I'm sure
love
she's
them.
very happy that we mentioned
They're
them.
awesome. Leonard, we will see you in studio next week. It's always a pleasure when you're here. Thank you, Leonard.
All right,
Leonard
have a
does
good
a great
show
job.
tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Have a great day.
Hey, everybody. Are you struggling?